In a world where the unknown whispers in the dark, where shadows move and questions remain unanswered, tonight we step beyond the veil. Welcome to Journey through the EGH Talk Show, where the paranormal meets the unexplained and the truth is never far away. From ghostly encounters to UFO sightings to the mysteries that keep us awake at night. You're not just watching, you're part of the investigation. So dim the lights, open your mind, and prepare to question everything you thought you knew. This is your journey into the unknown.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to Journey Through the EGH Talk Show, live and exclusive on wherever you are watching. I don't know what's live. I don't know what's not live. Who knows? Who cares? Welcome, everybody, to the show. Let us know if you are in the chat. Pop it in the chat. I don't know if we are live. That's the thing. All right. Because I've got certain things that are telling me that we're not live. I've got certain things that are telling we are live. So, you know what?
Talk to ourselves then.
We were just talking to ourselves. So, guys, if you are in the chat, pop it in. I know that we have a little bit of a delay. So let's just double check everything. I've probably got it all on the wrong pages loading up. But you know what? It's the same thing. Oh, you're not live. Apparently, we're not live. So that's all that I like to know, because I know that we are probably live on Facebook, live on YouTube as well, guys. So hello. I don't know if we're live on TikTok. If you're watching on TikTok, who knows? I couldn't tell you. But good evening, everybody. It is Thursday, the 23rd of July. We are there. We are there. We're well over the halfway. We're closer to Christmas than we are from last Christmas.
You're going to say that every week now, aren't you?
If we've got to now, haven't we? Even though we're going into
That's my rant then.
we are going into a mega heat wave next week, aren't we? Apparently, according to the weather guys, we are going to be hitting 40 to 42 degrees of heat, potentially from next Tuesday onwards in the UK, well, in the southern areas of the UK, which I don't think that,
I won't be at work then.
I don't think anyone will be at work. I will be finding air conditioning anywhere I can. But welcome, everybody. Let me know you're there. We've got people in the chat. Jane is in the chat. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, one and all. Wherever you are watching, please pop yourselves in the chat and go on for there. Good evening, Mr. Psychic Si.
Evening, all right?
All good, my friend. All good, my friend. Mr. Paranormal Paul, good evening.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing?
All good. All good. I do apologise. Raspberry frog frosting. I do apologise. I didn't make it home in time for work last week, so I can only apologise, okay? But yeah, we are back. We are back with an episode that was brought to us by Mr. Paranormal Paul at the last minute of the day, okay? As you know, that we don't plan too much on this show unless we do. So we've come up with dreams. We're going to be talking about dreams. I think there's a lot of links that we can give to dreams. We can link it to certain things. I believe we can have contact with spirit. I believe we can contact extraterrestrials with dreams. But I think it all starts off with how it all works. And Paul decided to say that he had a funny dream and he wants to talk about it. But before we go on to our funny dreams, let's just say we've got David Hobbs in the chat. Good.
Hi, David.
Evening, David. If you don't know David Hobbs, he runs a very good talk, very, very good talk. It's called the UFO Essex, is it Paranormal Group? It's at the Biomoral Centre at the first Friday of every month, okay? Go over to the Facebook page, give it a follow, and then will drop you in what they are going to be talking about every first of every Friday. He does let us post into the Facebook page as well. So if you've got any followers that have come over from there, please let us know if you're following from that page. So thank you, David, for letting us do that. But make sure you go and follow the UFO Essex and Paranormal Group on Facebook. We've got Cheryl in the group as well. There we go. That's what you're looking for, guys. Okay. Essex UFO and Paranormal Group. Okay. That is what you will be looking for on Facebook. But we do have a lot of comments every week, but we can't start the show without Simon's rant. So I'm going to have to do a jingle for Simon's rant at some point, aren't we? We're going to have that. So
I don't bloody believe it.
I don't believe it. Yes.
You've got my head ticking now, Paul.
Yeah.
You have got my head ticking. So Simon, have you got a rant of the day?
I probably haven't got a rant of the day. I've probably got a rant of the last week, and it's 2 words. Andy Burnham. That's my rant. Okay? I'll say no more because it might offend people, but what a complete
Easy.
load of tosh it's becoming. When will people wake up and see what is happening?
Yeah, but he's ticking all the right boxes.
But it's not the right boxes, because where's he getting the money from?
But it doesn't matter where they're getting the money from. He's going to be ticking the right boxes. I just
If
not
you
my
want to
rant.
march on Parliament, you might be marching up to Manchester soon.
No, but that's fine. I don't care about Parliament. Guy Fawkes tried. If they want to send it north, you know what? I'll pack the boxes and I'll send it north for them.
But yes, that's my 2-word rant.
But is what I you know, me and Paul did a show probably about a year ago, maybe longer, and Scott, the lovely Scott Paladine, done me a vote. Remember, vote for Russell.
Right, vote for us, yeah.
I said any prime minister or any government that wants to get elected is all they've got to do is throw out what they've thrown out. Cheaper this, cheaper that. But you don't have to justify. They don't have to justify anything. But that's what I said. If you want to be in government, go and promise everything that people want to hear. This please. Yeah, but it doesn't matter how they're going to pay for it.
It's going to be paid for by somebody. So
Yep, but the thing is, he's ticking all the boxes that is not going to hear. They're hearing, not seeing. They're hearing. Cheaper this, cheaper that, cheaper this.
That's on the woke up. Come on, Britain, wake up.
It will be simple. Is what will happen now is give it 6 months, maybe 7 at a push. When everyone is hunky-dory, saying cheaper this, cheaper that, your bills are going to go down, the food's going to go down, and straight away you'll go snap election, Labour will get in for another 4 years. You know, it's because look at Reform's polling since this has happened. It has dropped dramatically.
People,
that's all that needs to happen. That's exactly what I said. I could go and get elected tomorrow if I stood on a podium outside Number 10 and said, by the way, I'm going to make your fuel bills cheaper. I'm going to make fuel taxes cheaper. I'm going to cut your tax. You're going to earn more money. Every Tom, Dick and Harry in the world would go and vote for me because that's all they want. Doesn't matter where the money's going to come from in 5 years' time when your taxes are going up. They don't think that.
It won't be 5 years' time.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
It will not be 5 years' time.
They don't think that far ahead. Everything that I would do to get elected, he's done. Wrongly or rightly, he's blinding people by what he's saying.
It doesn't blind us all, though, does it?
No. But the only thing
On
I
the
will
plus
say, on balance for the argument, he's a lot more, what's the word? I don't know if it's charismatic or he feels like
anyone's more charismatic than Starman.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? He's just got a bit of something about him that you could actually feel like you could approach him and just talk. But yeah, other than that, we could go down, rant over, guys. Come on, guys. Right, we're going. Right, rant over.
At least my beginning of the year prediction come true.
Exactly. Right, we're going on to dreams. Dreams it is. Dreams and dreams and dreams. So, what got us started on this? Mr. Paranormal Paul said he's had a couple of crazy dreams and he would like to talk about them. So, at this point, after the rant, let's bring everyone down to dreams when I want you. We're going to hand it over to Mr. Paranormal Paul and let us know about your dream.
Right, I've had a few. So I'm thinking there's about 4, because in my eyes they're kind of related. It's always got a similar sort of scenario. So I'll briefly run through one or all of them.
Go from where you want to start, mate.
Yeah, where did it start?
I'll go from the first one. Where so I was on holiday. It wasn't the Isle of Wight, but it felt like an Isle of Wight type of scenario, you know, a little island. And it was flooding. And I've told so many people, I can't remember if I mentioned this on the show or not, but don't know where the water was coming. It wasn't a tidal wave or anything like that, but the streets were flooding. And I'm trying to get my family together, and it's like an obstacle course, trying to get from one, and I kept losing my family. And I'm finding little boats, like little dinghy boats that they sell in the shops, jumped in one of them, get across, get my family, try and get them to safety. I never once ended up in the water, nor did my family. I managed to get them to safety. I managed to get them up on the wall, get on me back, and I'm throwing them up. And I injured myself. We got to safety, but then I woke up. That was my first dream. Unfortunately, I wrote them down in detail. I've got a dream journal at work, and I always say, if I remember it by the time I get to work in the morning, I write it down. I forgot to bring it home. So there might be little bits I forgot to mention it them. But that was the first one. The second one, again, water's involved. I was on holiday again. And it's like, we was in a kind of a fairground thing. Again, the family's there. And it's like a fun house type scenario. It's like an obstacle course. We've got to try and get through this and that and blah, blah, blah. And there was a zip line over a river. But in my dream, I distinctly remember I was in France and this zip line took me across to England. But this zip line, the water that was actually there was only really the width of the Thames. But in the dream, France, England, the other side. But the zip line was inside a tunnel. And she wanted me to go on this ride. Yeah, go on this ride over into England, and then you get this little thing back into the fun park. And as I've met up, I've done the ride, and as I've met up with my family again, got a bit lost. My daughter went on ahead, and when I got to the family, we heard a load of commotion. People were running about here, there, and everywhere. And as I've looked in, there was gunmen running into where my family were. And I'm sort of looking around the corner, and something disturbed them, and they run off. So I quickly run up to the door, and I called my family. I said, "Right, quick, come, go." I said, "Look, one of them's dropped the gun. Get a gun. Give me the gun." So I've grabbed the gun. I'm saying, "Right, go." And we're running. I said to my daughter, "Right, get us to that zip line." I said, "Because once we get across to England, we'll be safe. Let's get away from these guys." And as we're running, I felt a massive pain in my arm. of course, in the dream, I've been shot. They're after us. I managed to get them into the zip line, but just as we started going on the zip line, I woke up. But as I woke up, I could not feel my arm. You know, when you sleep on your arm funny, and you can't move it, you're in so much pain. But that happened now. So again, water is involved. Excuse me. Now, I'll go on this. I'll say this is the last one. The very first one I haven't mentioned because it's not really related, but it was a weird, strange dream that I might mention later. Again, it's like this assault course scenario. My family's there again, and it was a very rough. The other two dreams were quite involved in this sort of assault course, like a challenge to get to where you've got to get to. And this one was very brief, and I don't remember that much about it, but it's the next bit I do remember. Is we got home, I was on my own, and for some weird reason, I was in like a back garden facing a wall, and I had a VR headset on, and I'm playing on that, and I heard a noise, and as I've looked round, lifted the headset up, there's two blokes there, one tall, one short. I recognise them. Even now, I can see their faces. I recognise them, but I don't know where I recognise them from. I've definitely seen them before. And they go to jump me. I quickly threw the headset off, and we're sort of having a little tear up. But you know, in dreams, when you're trying to hit someone, and it's like you're punching in water, you just can't get that strength. It's not moving, and I'm putting everything into it to try and hit this. And just my fist, just like I'm connecting with him, but it's just not doing no damage. And this is going on and on, the pair of them. We're rucking away. And eventually they sort of went off. And I goes in the house, and believe it or not, it was my house that I'm living in now before I converted it, done all the extensions and everything. So it's going back. And my wife come in, and I started telling her about these two blokes, and they come back. So I thought, right, get out the house. So I run out the house, and as I run out the house, I grab the hammer, and it's the hammer I've got in my garage, claw hammer. And I get out front. She's come running out. What's going on? What's going on? And again, they've jumped me. I've managed to grab hold of one of these guys, and this is a bit brutal, so I do apologise. But bear in mind, it is just a dream. And I said to the wife, "Listen, these guys ain't going to stop. They're just going to keep coming. The only way I'm going to stop this is to kill them." And I got this hammer, and I started smacking this guy on the head with my hammer. And I'm gradually seeing his head split open. He's still alive. He's still fighting me. And I've managed, I'm not doing that small thing now. And then the other guy says, all right, enough. That's it. We're done. And I sort of dropped my hammer. Okay, right. F off. And they did. They both, even though this geezer, I've split his head open, they both walked off. And then I woke up. What the hell? And each one, this is the last 3 weeks. I've had one, I didn't actually pay attention to the day I've had these dreams, but I've had one dream each week. Obviously, they're a bit longer and a bit more involved. I'll try to summarise it a bit. But it's like I'm battling in every one of these dreams that I'm remembering. And I only write the dreams down that I remember, because I think if I don't remember it, then it's not worth remembering. But these were so vivid, so clear.
Really good.
I've written notes down as you was doing it. Sorry, I had to sort of.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Because I did do. I just need to go back to the first dream. Could you just give me a? Because I was just sharing the post, the feed while you was talking about your first dream. I managed obviously to get the second dream with the zip line and things like that. But the first dream was the Isle of Wight flooding, or was that the second dream?
It wasn't the Isle of Wight, but it was like an island. I was on holiday in an island.
But you go to the Isle of Wight quite a lot, don't you? So I would.
Yeah. But it was weird. It was just, everything was just slowly flooding, and there The roads are all washed away, and you're trying to make it to higher ground. And all I can do, I'm trying to get my family to safety. And I did look up a bit about dreaming of water and things like that, and it said something about if you're in the water. But I never got in the water. I always managed to stay dry, and I managed to keep my family out of the water.
I could go through sort of what if someone give me that dream, I would try to interpret it the best I can, and how I sense that, because yes, I do think all the dreams linked. There is an ongoing thing there with all the dreams. You've associated it with water. I've taken the water out of play. Funny enough. Okay. Guys, if you're in the chat and if you want to sort of send any what you believe the sort of maybe this dream has interpreted, because I'm quite a strong believer that, you know, the paranormal, the side of things of the paranormal, are trying to sort of get a message to Paul. The first couple, okay, I would be saying they're out of your comfort zone. Okay, you were somewhere else, wasn't you? The first, you was Isle of Wight.
Both of them, it's like I was in a holiday scenario.
Exactly, and the third one, you was in your home. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, you had. That's where I would be going now. Okay, you're out. You've broken the comfort zone. You know you were zip wiring, and you're associating it with holidays. You're associating it with happier times, and I say that not happier times, but the times that you were at your.
Seems family times.
Yes, that's what I'm
usually when you're most relaxed.
So, and when it almost feels like that you're fearing that you're trying to protect your family. Okay, you know everything is protection, but I think it's like there's a fear within you that obviously I know you quite well, so we've got your daughters are getting older. Okay, that family time isn't going to be what you used to have. The children within your family are getting older. It's going to be different. You're fighting that. I feel that you're I feel that you're looking at what happens if I can't protect my family when they're not around. Everything is protection. Okay, you've gone back to your past in your house.
Yeah,
you know, when not in, because you're still happy now, but that moment of when you had the kids running around, Christmas, it doesn't change, and I think, where you're hitting and you're beating, I think it's you beating yourself up that you may not be able to do that, and you can't maybe let it go. Now, please, Paul, you can tell me I'm talking absolute
no
shite. But when I was looking at it, it's about breaking boundaries. It's about now. I think it's about you experiencing what you want to experiencing because of what you've done for everybody else in the past. You've looked after your family 120 million%, and you will continue to do so in your home. But it almost feels, and if there was something that you had to go out and do, that you had to go and rescue your family or save them, you still would, and you still would succeed. You can't fail. The dream is telling you you're always going to succeed. You don't fail in any of your dreams. The zip wire, you get to safety. The bloke with the hammer, there's no way he's living. If you're looking at that. And that's how I would perceive that dream. It's about how you've got to step forward and break what you see. What's the word I'm trying to look for?
As a threat.
Yeah, but to yourself.
Yeah. No, it makes sense, mate. This is why I wanted to bring it up, because I want people's opinions, and I've never thought of the dreams to link something like that. But the way you've just said that, I thought,
And
yeah,
it just
okay.
almost feels like there's people telling you in spirit, look, doesn't matter what you've gone from, obviously something zip wire-ish to safety over water to the
Yeah.
point of beating someone's head in. They've gone quite drastic. It doesn't matter what you fear, you're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. You will protect your family no matter what the situation is. But I do feel like you've got to let that go. That's how it feels to me, in a sense. I'll let Simon jump in a minute, okay, because I can see his cogs are ticking, okay. But we have got a few comments coming in, so we'll break Simon's one up. Lucid dream is wild, especially when they're intense, like Paul's description. As you're probably
Would that
aware,
be considered lucid dreaming?
Lucid dreaming.
yeah,
Lucid, yeah.
yeah, descriptive. You're probably aware that water is connected to water direction west. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming there's got to be some connection there. I've had a recurring dream of a massive tidal wave coming where I'm standing on the coast and you can't see the top of the wave or the ends right to left, and I wake up when it hits me.
Oh yeah.
We'll come to that one in a minute. We'll try and get that one. But Paul, Simon, I know, see your cogs ticking, so fly, my friend, fly.
So I go with what Russ is saying. It is about your family. But have you thought about that dream to make another dream? Do you get what I mean? So when you're going to bed,
Is it going over my mind so much
Yes.
that I've created another dream like it?
yeah, exactly. Because I can actually do it. If I want to do it, I can actually make myself dream about what I've dreamt about before, and that's really weird. And I'm just wondering if you're going back and back and back. Because it's always about your family. It's always about the family, isn't it?
Yeah. Trying to make sense of it, that's for sure. For
I
that
don't think
first day after, I think long and hard about it. But by the time I have another dream, about a week later, I'm like, well, yeah, I've kind of forgotten about that now. But now this one's come up, it then brings me back to that previous dream as well, because I think they're connected.
Can you do us a favour?
Water is connected to emotion.
Can you do us a favour? Tomorrow, bring your book home, and before you go off to sleep, read your last dream and see if you can get back to it. I'm just wondering.
Would you want to go back to that
I
one?
remember was smacking the guy's head in.
Yeah, but you want to know what's gone on after that, would you not?
Yeah.
I think he's dead.
No, I don't think he is, because his mate's going out there.
Yeah, I think it feels like there's like an internal battle going on that you're fighting yourself. And with Simon, this dream is family orientated. Singly, two of us have picked up on everything there. 3 dreams family, 3 dreams protection, 3 dreams that you've prevailed.
So nobody owes you money, do they, Bob?
Nobody owes me money?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's all right.
So there was the first dream I had the week before these 3, so it's like going on for a month now. It was completely different, but it was, I believe it was a visitation, because it was the first time I dreamt of my mother-in-law since she passed.
How weird.
And it was, and I could definitely tell the difference between the dream part of it and what felt like the real part of it.
And can you remember anything of that dream? Was there words said? Was there?
Oh no! This is what I can remember. Me and the wife were in the car, and it wasn't one of the cars I've got now. It was a car completely different. It was like an American station wagon, and we just got in the car and we were just about to go off the drive. And as I looked to my right before I pulled off the driveway, I saw my mother-in-law walking towards me, and I was like, "What the hell? You passed away." I flew out of the car, run up to her, and she just had the biggest smile on her face. And it was almost as if like everything around her was sort of SD, but she was in HD. Like she was crystal clear, and everything sort of like was a bit hazy around her. Like everywhere I looked, she was the only thing that was crystal clear. She looked radiant in a red outfit, big red lips, big smile. You know, smile she has on her face, massive, great smile. Excuse me. And I just threw my arms around her, like, you know, where the bloody hell you been? She didn't say nothing. She just smiled. And the feeling I got from it, I was so warm. It was such a lovely feeling. And I've turned around to get Lou, but she couldn't get out of the car. The car was like, sort of locked itself shut. So to get to her mum, she's kicking out the back window, like of the tailgate to get to her, like, let me out, let me out. And then but I woke up before she got out. But to me, that part was dream. But the dreaming of the mother-in-law, the feeling I got, and like when I woke up, it just felt so warm.
And sorry, just before I ask, I'm going to ask a couple of questions, okay?
Yeah.
When you say you was coming off your drive, but you was in a different car,
Yeah.
is that correct?
Yes.
So was the home yours?
Yes, it was this where I live now, and I was coming off my driveway.
Was it an old car?
Yeah. Not one I've had.
No, but
Yeah, but it was perhaps what your mother-in-law would have had.
I don't know. This was like an American station wagon thing. You know, the big estates, like in
Yeah.
National Lampoon's type car. You know, that big long estate car with the.
Well, I think that one is probably the easiest one to sort of embrace. Do you know what I mean? I think you've got yourself there that is a spiritual person. You know, you've got a background, you've got family that were spiritual. You know, your granddad and all that were, you know, spiritual people. You have that ability to connect to spirit. Okay. And I think obviously we know your wife is very connected to spirit but refuses to believe it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if she's watching, but that's the truth. Don't beat Paul up, but come and beat me up. But you are very connected to spirit. Your wife is very, very connected to spirit. And I think she's holding back on that, hence why you got out of the car and went straight to your mother-in-law, to your wife didn't. You know, there's a fear, but that fear factor is, you know, look at the emotion that you had, the radiant smile. You felt that, you saw that. That's what I said earlier on when dreams have an ability to connect to spirit. Dreams have an ability to connect to ETs. It's all connected. It's all in a way.
I've definitely felt that to me with that, because that's the first time I've dreamt of her since she's passed, and it was like I'm all right.
And where was
that?
I mean, like that? Was that at the beginning of these dreams or somewhere in the middle of these three dreams?
So it's literally been like one dream a week, and that was the very first one.
Right. Okay.
And it's like her saying, "Look, Paul, you're doing all right.
Yeah.
You are bloody doing all right, Paul. Stop it."
Yeah.
You know, it almost feels like this is for you like a pressure pot. You know, you've gone through, you know, doing this, doing that, doing this. Your final dream was to blow. I'm going to smash this bloke's head in. You know, you could have quite easily just pushed him out the door, give him a punch and throw him out the door, but it wasn't. It was a continuous punch and a punch and punch. It was that pressurized building of, I think you're beating yourself up. You're beating yourself up. That's how it feels to me. That's, you know, you're putting too much pressure on yourself, and you can't change the outcome of that. You've got to accept the outcome of that.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
always going to be there, and you will always do the best possible job that you possibly can. Don't think otherwise. You are going to need your family, and your family are
No,
always going to need you.
but this is one of the things. Like, I was telling one of the guys at work. Great guy. He's a Sikh, and he's very spiritual. And I've been telling him about my dreams as I have them. And he's sort of saying, like, are you worried? Are you this and that? And I think, I love my life. I mean, everyone has their troubles and struggles, but
But yeah,
I'm happy. I'm a happy guy. I love the life I've got and that I live and what I've worked hard to get. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that things don't bother me. Of course they do, but I feel like I'm quite a placid person. And I think, especially since doing the circle and things like that, the clarity I've got on life now is I've never had it since doing that kind of thing.
But that's what I'm saying. You may be laid back, and you're becoming one with yourself. But there's still that emotion inside that I think a lot of people do. They put it to the back of their head. They think they're okay, but they're not okay. But I don't mean that.
Oh no, 100%. Listen, mate, I know. I've had issues before with things like that, but
We can always go, but there's always that underlining. You're beating yourself up secretly with no one
there's
knowing.
always something, though, isn't there? There is always
Yeah.
something. There's always something
Always.
in life that's gonna, whatever. It's always gonna.
And as I say, I do think that I think it's like, for me, it feels almost like your mother-in-law there. They say, look, it's gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. It's like you're doing a good job. She's smiling. If she come at you with a face like thunder, the mother-in-law, then you're gonna be in the shit. But you're not.
Yeah.
Come out with radiance. Do you know what I mean? And you just described the word red. Red is a protection color. Red is a dark, grounded protection color.
yeah.
So I think you've just got to embrace it. I think you've got that feeling. I think you've got to. I won't say get on with your life, because I think that's a little bit too much. But I think you've got to accept what's coming and just know that you're doing the right thing and it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
That's what I would put to that. If anyone feels any difference or anything like that in the chat, please let us know. How did you see it? Is there anything you feel like we might have missed? How does it make you feel? Okay, just let us know in the chat. All right, let us know in the chat.
But why do we dream? That's the question, and I don't think it's ever been answered. Why do we dream? I don't think they can answer it now, can they?
Why do we dream? Well, the saying is, the fact is,
Scientifically, though, why do we dream? Not
you've got two facts with dreaming that I know. I only know these facts. Luke, on average you dream 7 times a night. You have 7 different dreams on average per night. You may not remember them all, but you do dream 7 times. When you stop dreaming, you're dead.
Yeah, but then you've got. Yeah, okay, I get that part of it. But are you dead?
Well, no,
Are you dead? Because if you go into this state, see, this is where my mind goes, right? This is where my mind goes. If you're in a coma-ized state, are you dreaming?
well, I'd be saying yes, because people come out and they talk about what they've seen in that dream,
Yeah.
and
What they've experienced.
time, you know, what was going on and things like that. So I would say coma. I can't say the word.
Coma-ized, that's probably the wrong word. anyway.
Comatose.
Yeah, comatose.
I would be saying yes. Yeah. Very insightful. Thank you, Russ. You're more than welcome. I say if you've had some funny dreams, pop them in the chat, or send a private message via the Facebook page, or you can even email us through info@essexghosthunters.co.uk, and we'll have a look into the dream. Don't be afraid to. All right. If you don't want it read out on the air, then we won't do. But if you do want it, just pop it in the chat. Anything, any little dreams as well.
But you get people out there that don't remember dreaming at all.
Yeah, you do get
No.
people like that. Yes, exactly that.
I've met a few of them that say, "Oh no, I don't dream. I never dream."
But they do.
They do. They just don't
I think-
remember it.
I think. I
Well,
think.
do they?
Well, yeah.
Do they? We're saying they do, but do they? Because perhaps you've got. I don't know.
I would say
I've
you're.
read more since I became spiritually connected. For sure. I know I would be one of those people probably 30, 40 years ago. I wouldn't remember my dreams, but I dream so vivid and lucid now. It's great. And as I say, I think you can start to control that with spiritual work. I can go back to a dream. I never used to be able to get back to a dream. I can now.
I have been able to, I must admit.
Yeah. I never
You know, I'm at that age now where I have to get up and go to the toilet through the night. And if I'm having a dream, if I wake up and go to the toilet and I want to know what's going to happen in this dream, I have gone back into that dream before. Not every time, but a few times I have.
Yeah, but is that because you've become more spiritually aware? Or
I don't
have
know.
you always been able to do that? Because I could never used to do it.
But
No.
okay. Can I just so throw the curveball in there then? Okay. What is the difference between a meditative state and dreaming?
Probably not a lot.
That's my
Probably it's just
yeah.
not as deep as dreaming.
I
Yeah, I can sort of snap out of a meditation if I
Yes.
really need to, whereas a dream, I can't. I don't think.
yeah, but I just think a dream is one step further than a meditation.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree.
I've been in trance-like states where I can't snap out of it. I know where I want to get to, but I'm in that dream-like state, you know. And I know that's different because obviously someone's controlling my voice box. It's not me, but I still feel like that dream-like state. But Simon has said it. He's been more spiritual. When you know, look at you with your mother-in-law, you could still have. I feel like you could have that ability with your mother-in-law if you went into a meditation. You know, is the car significant for your meditation? You know, when people say about going to your safe place when you go to a meditation, you know, I always go. I know where I go. I go to the same place every time, and I can describe the same place. I've got no shame of it. I go to Honolulu Beach. I have the blue waves in the thing, and I have the tiki bar behind me with the straw roof, and I sit on the bar, and I have the coconut or the whatever you call it with a straw out of it, with the umbrella, and I sit there with a pina colada, and I just listen to the waves. And if anyone wants to come and sit with me at the stall in front of me, they're very much welcome to. And that is where I go to every meditation. That's my safe place. Even when I go to do my trance, even when I let people go, I go and sit there at my bar and let my guides and my loved ones protect me, to let my voice go, to let you hear who wants to speak. Now, I'm not saying it is, but what's to say that carpool isn't one of your places that you need to go go and speak to whoever you need to speak to? I don't know if Sandra is in the chat, but I know Sandra always goes to the Antarctica, or she goes to icebergs all the time. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've got the same place that I go to.
Yeah, I always go to the same place.
Yeah.
Always.
So, but that's what I think, you know, I sort of, but when I'm going to sleep, you know, you turn your telly off or whatever you do, you prepare yourself for bed. You are, in sense, preparing yourself for meditation. You are getting yourself in that daze-like state. Do you know? Yeah. I think there's a lot to do with dreams and our connection to the paranormal. I do think that you can do a lot in dreams and in meditation. And I'm not just talking about we talk to spirit, but we can fully talk to extraterrestrial beings from different planets, different universes, if we get into the right meditational state, that right frequency that we need to be in. Whatever that means. But I think we can go into that a little bit deeper in a minute, because I think that will lead us on to our second part if no one's got any dreams. But we've got a question here. Well, we don't fully understand what consciousness is yet, but it's real and might be where we go when we die, back to a network of frequency, of creativity, love and light, and take whatever we've learned. I get it. I get it. I do.
I like that.
That's, we don't know what consciousness is yet. I don't think we ever will. But someone did allow, didn't they? Within the last 18 months, they did the brain thing, didn't they? When that person was dying,
Yes.
when they, like the frequency and the electric nerves, and I think it was the last thing was the ears were to go, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The last frequency was the ears. That's what they say. You talk all the way through to the end, because that's the last thing. And I think the brain was still pulsing a good few minutes after the body had stopped, I believe. So, yeah.
Don't know.
Hold on. Let's have a look. Maybe those who do terrible things and choose to hurt or manipulate others have to repeat life to hopefully learn or go to a lower frequency dimension, not hell or heaven, lower or higher frequency.
That's a good one.
So that would be what you would say called limbo. If you're not in heaven, hell, you'll be in limbo. Maybe.
No, what they're saying is you repeat life.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what they're saying, isn't it? They have to repeat life. They have to repeat life. So I think what Rufus is saying, perhaps this life is the learning curve, but if you don't learn, you're going to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it.
I think this is quite a nice comment.
Yeah.
Maybe dreams make you look at something you would rather not face, therefore unburdening you.
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, could be. But then
I like that. That's dreams. I do believe there may be a difference between nightmares and dreams. I suppose we'd have to look at the other aspect to that. But I know it all goes into that same thesis, so to speak. But I do feel that that's quite I think spirit try to tell you things that you're not willing to hear sometimes.
Yeah.
I think that you potentially could listen more within your dream. I think you wake up more paying attention. Like Paul has, it's like, holy hell, it's playing on your mind. You're reliving that dream. How many times do you relive a dream? And sometimes, it's like what you can't have. How many, I don't know if you've ever dreamt of winning the lottery and then you wake up and you ain't got a pot to piss in.
Yeah.
But I'm saying they give you something that's not there to say, look, don't. And I'm not talking about loved ones or things like that, but the physical elements, the things, the fundamental things that, you may not be able to have. But you may not be warranted, if that makes sense.
Yeah, good point.
That's how I see it. I see that as hard-hitting realities that we're not ready to stand up to. But look, for example, what's gone on today. You've put it out to us, and maybe not the answer you was expecting. If that makes sense.
It's not the answer. I didn't even think of it that way.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But this is why I said, I'd rather throw it out there because I'd like to hear other people's opinions, especially yourselves, just to help me try and make sense of it more than anything. But in all them dreams, it was always an assault course. I had to sort of There was nothing straightforward. It was everything was a challenge to get over.
Is that not life?
Yeah, life.
Well, yeah, exactly that. Yeah,
Life isn't.
Yeah.
Life's a bloody up and down journey.
Oh, it is. But then you get to the other sort of dream that I just like to go into. It's like the dream that I had of Whitby. So
yes,
Yeah.
what was that dream all about? Because I've yet still to go there.
But once again, guidance. That place it's guiding you. When you get to that place, I just think that your frequency will connect and it will guide you to what you need to do. I think it's there waiting for you to do what you need to do. And when you step into that moment where this is where it needs to be, it's like two light bulbs go off to make this one big bright light. And you go, guys, this is where I am. Follow me. Just follow me. I know where we're going.
Okay.
That's how that would make me feel with your dream. It's waiting.
That's one of many. It's not just,
Thank you for that lovely comment. You guys are great. Love your conversations and positivity. Well, we can only go from one direction when we start off with a rant, can't we? So,
that's it. Yeah,
at the end of the day, there is nothing here that I said it earlier on, and I'll say it again to anybody that wants. There is no wrong or right in the paranormal field. Science is science. You can't fit science to some things.
And dreams I can't fit science.
You can't. I'm sorry.
No, they never have they? They don't even try to. They can't. Still to this day.
But they will try to make something fit.
Yeah, but nothing is fitting with dreams. Nothing.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. I think we can have this abundance. I think if people were to pay more attention to their dreams, I think if people can get into use that meditation dreamlike states. And let me take the ufology field just for an example. You've got Dr. David Greer that does the CE5 project, that is about meditation, guiding, putting your frequency out there to bring them to you.
Yeah.
When you was in that forest at Rendlesham, Simon, you was in some form of trance-like meditation state. It wasn't you. Where they'd put you, I don't know.
No, the place wasn't bad though. It was.
No, but that's what I'm saying. There's a frequency that you hit, and this is what I'm saying. I think these people that, if you want to believe in the paranormal, Simon, this is your favorite saying all the time. Meditation is the key.
It is the key, yes.
Now, this is where I've always said, people say, I'm a ufologist this, I'm a ufologist that, I don't believe in ghosts, because I've spoke to these people. It's like, I'm sorry, they're both exactly the same. When I say they're both exactly the same, they're two different things. But conscientiously, how I talk to spirit is how I talk to UFOs, extraterrestrials. I just have to find that frequency. I just have to change my chain of thought to what I want. If I want to talk to spirit, I talk to spirit. My body, my mind, how you perceive that, that's how I do it. If I want, when I was in Wales and I connected to them extraterrestrial beings that were beyond any shadow of doubt, amazing species, whatever they were.
Yeah.
It was in the same process. When we all sat outside that cottage in Wales, we was all together in a meditative state, putting our frequencies, putting our thoughts out there. It's a meditated state.
Yes, we know we can do that. We know we can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying. When it comes to, when you're talking about your dreams, Simon, when you're talking about this one with Whitby and things like that, we still don't know if it's spiritual or extraterrestrial. You've had extraterrestrial appearing in it because we said it was danger at some point.
Yeah.
But what's to say that isn't the extraterrestrials giving you the imagery? Rather than we're talking about our loved ones and our
I
guides.
don't think it was. It's nobody that I would have been to Whitby with. You know, there just isn't. So I know it's not a loved one. I know it's not a loved one. And I was on my own until I found Joe, and then we found you, and it was that I was actually on my own in that for quite a, well, I would say, whatever I was in, if you want to call it meditation or whatever it is, I was in 75% on my own until I got to the top of that bloody great hill, and I counted the steps, and I got to the top of it, and I found a car park, and that's where I saw Joe.
But then
And I saw you in a different car, and I said, "What are you doing here?"
what car was it?
I can't remember.
Well, just if I have to change my car, do you know what I mean? If it's worth changing it to, you know.
Then we went off into the forest.
But there you go. And once again, let's analyse that very quickly because we've done it before. You're going up the steps. Maybe you need to raise your frequencies to be able to talk to that.
Yes.
Just analysing it off the top of my head. Up the steps. When I do my circle and I do meditation, I want to lower people's frequencies to make them relax. So I always go down the steps. What do I do to bring them back? I bring them up the steps.
Yeah.
Just,
you do.
just sort of off the top of my head. You mentioned the steps. Maybe we overlooked that. Maybe that's what you said.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just raising that frequency. I don't know. Just surmising at this moment in time.
Well,
But that's
we'll have to get to a car park in Whitby.
okay, but we've got to touch on it. We have to touch on it. Nightmares. Nightmares. Now, do you feel that there is any difference to a dream or a nightmare?
Oh, that's tough. No, not so much now, but when I was a kid, I used to have some horrendous nightmares.
Again, I think it changes. Yeah, I think it changes through periods of time. Yeah. I
But
think as you get older, your nightmares disappear slightly.
but we're saying your nightmares disappear. But do you feel they're the same?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Dreams.
What would you say a nightmare is for over a dream? What it would be the point of a nightmare?
Something that's hurting you, probably attacking you. Something I couldn't see but knew was there. And wouldn't communicate with me. That's what I would call a nightmare.
So why do you feel that you would need that?
Why would I need it?
Yeah.
Why would I need a nightmare?
How do you think it works? Sorry, I'm putting everybody on the spot. I'm not trying to catch you out. I'm just asking
How would I
questions.
think it works? Perhaps for me to be more careful.
That's sort of what
In fact,
Brewer's saying. I think we learn from nightmares just as much as we learn from good dreams.
Do you know what? I was going to say that because, like I say, I don't remember having that many nightmares as an adult. I have weird dreams and scary dreams, but I wouldn't call them nightmares. Not so much when I was a kid, I had nightmares, like things that would scare me. I had something come out of my bedroom door once in a dream, and I remember for, months, years, I'd always, if I was walking past my bedroom door of a night, I'd always be waiting for that dream to come true. Do you know what I mean? Like that, it still put the fear of God up me. God, what if that actually happens? What if that actually happens?
usually my sister was causing my nightmares because she was probably throwing little bloody dolls or trolls into me room. Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Okay, so just opening it up to that, you've both said younger of age.
Mm.
Okay, you can't remember having too many nightmares in your adult lives. So then we, going by that sort of quote and that sort of route, nightmares seem to be more of a younger person's thing.
Yes, I think so, because I think children are more susceptible to spirit anyway,
Yeah.
because they're having it, for whatever reason, they haven't had it knocked out of them. Just look at the shop we work in. I've got to get him a dream catcher. I've got to get her a dream catcher. She's having nightmares. But then if you go on from there, dream catchers, they'll be used by Red Indians, Indian tribes, to stop their bad spirits coming through at night. So,
Yeah. Is it a dream?
yeah.
My I hope she don't mind me saying it, but my missus, she can still have nightmares. Like wake up crying, waking me up. She's always seeing a shadow figure in the corner of the bedroom.
Yeah, but I think also that goes along what we said earlier on, the not
I'm
understanding of
Yeah.
maybe what's the whole situation.
And she used to have night terrors a lot when she was a kid.
Yeah, so I think you do. I think children probably experience nightmares more than when you get into your adulthood. But I'm not saying it doesn't happen to adults, because
No.
I think it does. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think for me personally, as I've got older, nightmares have gone away, or I've gone back to that nightmare and sort of worked it out. If you know what I mean, looked into it more.
But once again, with what you're saying fits. You can easily scare a child, but it's not as easy to scare an adult.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I do think the brain plays a massive part. I think, as you said it, Simon, very susceptible. You have to be open. Children are open. Their mind's not closed. Do you know how many times you know scary movies now don't scare you, but you wouldn't show Child's Play to a 5-year-old, would you?
No.
Mm.
But if you watch Child's Play now, you'd laugh at it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, I do think that the brain of a child is susceptible.
Mm.
So negative energy, it will show itself. It can't not show itself, because that's where it shows itself. A child is not going to shut that down at this moment like an adult has. You know, the boogeyman doesn't make us frightened, but it makes a child frightened. So go to sleep thinking the boogeyman is under your bed. It's going to let them negative energies flow in, which good chance is where there's light, where we talk to our loved ones, it's always the dark side of things. So where the child hasn't had that mind manipulation over time, you know, we all know the saying, you know, where children go, "Oh, my imaginary friend is on the stairs, mummy." "Oh, don't be so stupid. There's no one there. You're only shutting the door." They're not stopping anything. They're just shutting the door on that child's mind to open up the susceptible world that we go to.
Mm.
That's as simple as it gets. And when you get on when people keep doing that, you're only shutting the door till it's closed. There's a question to you, Paul. Paul, I used to see those dark shadow figures about 10 years ago. It was a dark time in my life where I thought all hope was lost. I think love, hope, being open and finding positivity repels them. I could not agree more. And I think that sort of hinges on what I was saying there. When you are at a low point in your life, when you are sensing no hope, or
You're opening yourself up.
you are opening yourself up and letting
Still here.
the not necessarily the dark in, but it's lowering that vibration. It's lowering and lowering that vibration. And once you lower that vibration, as you say, you've got to find the hope. You've got to be finding the positivity. Every little thing that you can find positive, you have to build on. And that gives you that higher vibration to keep the negative at bay. You know, a little bit off kilter there, you know, we go off, but it is all in the same subject, is that, you know, possession is very much strongly linked to depression. But that's for a whole different subject. But yeah, I do feel that, you know, when we have these night terrors, I think for the likes of us three here, if we was to suffer from a night terror or a nightmare, I would probably be saying 9 times out of 10, it's probably something that we've come across, maybe at an event, maybe on a ghost walk, maybe that something's done. And that goes through the whole team. We're not a normal team. We're not just a group of volunteers that help each other out. We're a family. I think we're quite closely connected in the spiritual term. We can work with quite a lot of people within our team. You could put a team together randomly and you would all work together because we're quite closely connected because of the ether or whatever you want to put that. So when we have these night terrors or these night dreams, it's probably going to either be linked to someone that we've either come across in spirit or, you know, for example, on a ghost event that we've had a very nasty person that has come out and Simon's had to hold it back or send it across the bridge to wherever it needs to be. It will bang its chest at some point.
Of course it will.
Do you know what I mean? The evil exists. If you go through life and think evil doesn't exist, it does.
Of course it does.
You know, we're taught that in the Bible. Where there's good, there's bad, heaven and hell. You know, balance it. It exists. We are all interconnected. I couldn't agree more with you. I really couldn't agree more. It's just, you know, you find that connection.
People want to choose to use that connection.
Yes.
As well. I do believe it's if you want to use that connection because not everybody does, and each to their own. And I'd never ever try and persuade somebody to do the things that I do.
Yeah, I know.
No, I wasn't. I thought that was more on about like what you were saying about the team and the connection and
yeah,
the trust.
Yeah, that's just you growing up together, and it sort of thing, or growing up together. What,
yeah, like a childhood best friend that you're still best friends with when you're adults, and that trust, that faith, and don't let ego get in the way of things.
Never let ego get in. No,
that's
if you've got anything, that's when it'd be taken away from you.
100%.
Yeah, I just think it's all connected, and I do think that the dreams, the nightmares, they're all connected. They're all frequencies. You know, our brains work in mysterious and wonderful ways. We just have to enlighten that. We just have to make sure that we go down that route.
Yeah.
And lift that positivity. Because I think dreams are a really, really important part of ufology and of your spiritual connection.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. If we can probably bottle up the dreamlike state and take it with us, you're going to be fine. You're going to be absolutely fine. Just making this up, could the nightmare be teaching the adrenal glands function in the same way boys have that? You know what dream gets that particular other gland working? that's assuming it makes the adrenal gland kick in. Potentially. It's deep. It's deep, but so it's like I'm assuming you're saying it's more like a defense. No, not a defense mechanism, but it's waking something up. It's keeping something going. A nightmare has to. Evening. I think that's Tina, if I remember rightly. I have to remember people's names. Yeah, I sort of get it, David. I sort of get it. So it's like I suppose it's more like a, well, not a defense mechanism. Do you know what I mean? Like a, I suppose it's
like coming of age, you're growing.
Yeah.
It's a growth in your body and mind.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Getting your body ready for what's to come.
Hello, Tia. Tia's just joined us over on TikTok as well. So yeah, I don't know. I can't comment on the adrenal gland situation, but I would say it does use it as a function. And you'd say, you think like you I suppose when you dream, I suppose like in Paul's dream at the beginning that he was talking about, when he was saving his children and his family, I'm assuming the body is kicking adrenaline around the body.
They say not. They say not. They've actually monitored that. And some guy, I can't remember what I read, but some guy filmed his son. Yeah, he put him on one of these monitors with rapid eye movement. So the dad's filming the son. Dad's trying to keep himself awake. All of a sudden, the thing goes. So he's running there thinking to see his son moving about. His son was. So something in your brain cuts off your body, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You get what I mean? So you know,
to me, I'd say that's
you're running and you're getting nowhere.
Yeah,
but your brain is obviously a very clever mechanism that cuts it off. So your body, because you imagine if you went through some of these dreams you're having, where like say where Paul's fighting, he'd probably be knocking his missus out.
Yeah, no, yeah. I do.
So it's cutting. Your brain is cutting out
certain things. Yeah, I do it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I do get that, Simon. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And that's what he said. His son, all this thing was spanning and on this machine, and you'd have thought his son was awake.
So you're still having the same effect in your brain, but just not in your body.
Yeah.
So that's even more.
If you was actually running, your brain would be doing the same motion as what that machine's showing you.
Yeah. The brain's still doing it on that machine. Yeah.
It's even more exciting, isn't it? That's even more. What's the word? So, yeah. I just want to we've still got 10 minutes yet. I've got a couple of questions coming in, so we'll go to say then. But I just thought, okay, the biggest thing out at the moment, the most popular on point thing is AI, isn't it? So I asked AI, why do we dream? So AI's answer. Dreaming is one of the biggest mysteries. Scientists have several well-supported ideas about why we dream. There isn't a single definitive answer. Here are some leading explanations. Processing memories. During sleep, especially REM, rapid eye movement, sleep, the brain sorts through experiences from the day. Dreams may help strengthen important memories, discard less useful information. This is one of the strongest theories supported by research. Process 2, processing emotions. Dreams often feature emotionally significant events, fears, or relationships. They may prove a safe environment for the brain to work through difficult feelings, reducing emotional intensity over time. This could explain why stressful periods often lead to vivid dreams. Preparing for future situations. Number 3. Researchers think dreams act like a mental stimulator. By imagining threats, challenges, or social interaction, the brain may rehearse responses without real world risks. Many dreams involve problem solving or navigating unusual situations. Number 4. Making sense of a random brain activity. Another theory suggests dreams are the brain trying to create a story from spontaneous neural activity during sleep. Instead of dreams having a hidden purpose, the brain weaves random signals into the coherent nerve. Number 5, creative and insight. Dreams sometimes combine ideas in novel ways because the brain is less constrained. By logically thinking during dreaming, it can be unusual connections that occur, leading to creativeness breakthroughs. Some scientists, artists, and inventors have reported gaining ideas from dreams. Why are dreams so strange? I don't go with that. Do dreams mean something? Most scientists agree that dreams often reflect your thoughts. Do all people dream? Yes, everybody dreams, even if they don't remember it. Adults typically spend about 2 hours per night dreaming across several REM periods, without dreams becoming longer towards morning. I would have lost myself. I've clicked on the wrong bit. We usually forget dreams because the brain isn't strong enough. The brain isn't storing them as long-term memories in the same way does waking experience. So while we don't know the exactly why we dream, the best evidence suggests they are likely play a role in memory. I can't say the word. Consolidation. What is it when you can do everything? When you put all your debts together, what's that word? Collins.
Consolidation.
That's it. Emotional regulation, learning, and preparing us for future experiences. Well, I have to agree with AI there.
Apart from one thing, you said, what was it? You said you don't remember dreams that.
You don't remember all dreams.
You said something about remembering dreams. It just brought back to what I said earlier about I remember.
We usually forget dreams because the brain isn't storing them as long-term memories in the same way it does waking experiences.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I
say
mean, I've got some
usually.
dreams that I remember vividly from a kid.
Yeah, it does say we usually.
Usually, yeah. I got that second time I read it.
It does. To be fair, I have to agree with AI. So, right, hold on. Let's. Sorry, I've got some questions that we're gonna just have to read out before we disappear, guys. We've got Tina. My reoccurring dream is being in an operational room dealing with a tsunami and its aftermath. That's an interesting one. If you keep going to a recurring one there, that's very interesting. Brew. I don't know how to say it. Brufus. I think that is what we call ghost spirit can also connect with you in your dreams to help you understand and learn things. Those who have passed are still present. Time is not linear. Absolutely. Yeah. But if you watch a dog dream, their limbs go.
Yes.
I'm assuming that is going on your adrenaline one.
Yes. But a dog's brain is probably not as advanced as a human's in that sense. So perhaps they don't cut off. Yeah, you do see a dog running. Yeah.
Your body cannot tell the difference between what is real and external and what you think.
Feel eternally.
Internally.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Did you Did you see the? No, I didn't. I try not to sort of worry about AI. I use it. I say,
Didn't it hack another one or something?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I should think it's probably doing it on purpose. To be fair, whereas, should we just one last thing? Should we? What was the question? Does adrenaline happen during a dream?
Yeah, I reckon it does. I reckon it does.
Oh, okay. I'll read it out to you. Okay. Yes, but not in the same way as you're awake. During dreams, especially vivid or frightening REM dreams, your brain can trigger parts of the body's fight or flight response. Your heart rate may increase, your breathing become faster, and you may sweat. These changes can make it feel like you are getting a rush of adrenaline. However, during REM sleep, the body generally suppresses and releases of adrenaline compared with being awake. Instead, many of the physical changes are driven by activity in the brain and nervousness system rather than a large surge of adrenaline from the adrenal glands. For example, a nightmare may cause your heart to pound and leave you feeling frightened when you're awake. If you suddenly wake from a nightmare, your body may then release more adrenaline, making you feel shaky, alert, or as though your heart is racing. So while dreams can produce very real physical reactions, the classic adrenaline surge is often greater after waking than during the dream itself.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
That has been a very lightning show. It's been a very good talk, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like we've not answered every question because you never answer these
We
questions.
can't answer. We can never answer that. You know,
No.
we can never say why do you dream. If we could,
But
we'd be very rich.
yeah, I don't think there is really any need to. I just think you have to go through it and believe a dream is there to believe what it is. That's it. Hold on. Hi, all. Net was down. Could not get on. Oddly, I hardly dream, and if I do, I rarely remember it. Had an out of the blue nightmare this week. I woke remembering it as I shouted, and it woke me up.
Yeah.
That's it. I say it's. I do think that. I do think that we could probably sort of drown this out. I do think work had daily. If I remember rightly, Kurt. I look forward to seeing you Saturday, Kurt.
Yeah.
I think you're. I think you work sort of overnight sometimes as well, don't you? I think you do got like some random times and things like that, if I remember rightly. I could be wrong. So that would. I wish you'd come on earlier because it would have given us something else. I wonder if people that have night work dream differently to people who do day work. You think of how many people sleep at night regarding to how many people sleep during the day. I know that echoes around the globe with night and day at different parts, but I wonder if someone during the day would sleep lighter than someone during the night.
Don't know.
I think you would find it, you know.
How many times have you had a nap though? I do this a lot. If I ever get the chance to have a nap, and you're just dozing off, and you're there, you're dreaming, and then you know when you wake yourself up, you go, something's happened. You know, you jump out.
And sometimes the time theory of it, the time factor of it, I can go. I've been in bed and and what I thought was a really, really long dream.
Yeah.
Like gone off about 10:30 sleep, woken up in the start, and it's 11:15. Yet I've had this long. Well, I've been everywhere in this
That
room.
happens to me everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only been 15 minutes, but my dream's like day.
It feels like you're waiting for your alarm clock to go off in the morning.
Yeah.
But no, it's all I'm thinking is you think if you go to sleep now, it's quiet outside. But I use Simon, and for example, lives on quite a main road. It's going to be a lot louder during the day than
you get used to it. If you live there, you're used to it.
You would get used to it. You would, but still, it's still going to be an outside noise.
Mm.
You know that. You know, I don't care what you say. You could get used to it. But say if someone was to beep the horn outside your house, you're going to beep your horn more during the day than you probably would at night. Because there's more traffic on the road. There's more. You know, how many people are going to walk their kids past Simon's house in the morning and they're going to go, Johnny, get out the road. Do you know what I mean? It's going to wake you up. Then someone's going to do that in the middle of the night. You know?
Oh, I don't know. We've got a lot of clubs around here.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to sort of.
I know where you're going.
It would be maybe harder to gauge your dream, even though you're going to dream, to remember it. Maybe your brain is working overtime to let you sleep because of the outside
I can literally get on the settee, and be watching the telly program. I can go to sleep, I can dream, wake up and still watch that telly program. And then it might only be 15 minutes. But, yeah.
No, thank you for everybody that's watching. Raspberry, we will try. I can't promise anything, okay? But there may be a chance. I'm not going to sit here and promise you anything, but there may be a chance that we will live, okay? I can't promise it, all right? During the day, I get less sleep. Rarely I sleep more than 5 to 6 hours. I think that's and I would say that's, for me, I would be say. Brew, lovely your conversation again. Thank you for joining in. Really appreciate it. Thank you for everybody. It is time for us to go. So I want to say thank you to Simon. I want to say thank you to Paranormal Paul for sharing your dream.
Yeah,
good to what it was. I think it was a really good show, and hopefully it has given. You know, we don't come on here to give you answers. We want to just have a chat. And I do think there's a lot to do with dreaming and ufology, spiritual work, things like that. I really do. Absolutely. I think there's a major link between it. Highlights. Thank you. The live hunt's the highlight of my week when they happen. We will try. I can't promise anything. As it's a guest event, there's a lot of other things that have got to. But if I can make it happen, I might try to make it happen. All right. So, just pay attention. All right. I won't post anything, but just keep an eye on the Facebook pages and that at a later date. All right. Tina said, I've worked night shift for years, can't remember being many difference. I've only ever done it a couple of times. But even when we get in at 4 o'clock in the morning from a ghost hunt, I'm normally up around about 9 o'clock, but I can't sleep.
No, I can sleep.
No, that's it. I'd fall asleep back in the afternoon. That'd be my problem. Right, guys, we have got to say goodbye. Thank you for everybody that has joined us tonight. Really, really appreciate it. David Hobbs, thank you. Tina, Bruce, everyone that's Raspberry, Jane, thank you. Kurt, thank you. Joe, everyone that has gone into the chat tonight, thank you ever so much. If you've only joined us late on, please head over to the Spotify page. I do put this up there so you can listen again in your own time. I know Paul listens to it. There's a couple of other team members that always check back and listen to it. So please make sure you're following us over on Spotify, giving us a like, leaving us a review. Absolutely brilliant. So thank you ever so much. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and
See you soon.
see you all